Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab of California, and we're going to do another breakdown here today on Russell Wilson. This was a couple weeks ago against my Carolina Panthers. He threw for 3 touchdowns, one of his better, I think like 300 something yards, one of his better overall games of the season so far. So thought I would go ahead and do a breakdown of it. Unfortunately, it's against my team, but want to be able to help out everybody watching. So one of the big things that stands out with Russell Wilson, and one of the reasons why I did a breakdown on him, as well as a breakdown on Drew Brees, is, these are the guys that are much more like the, the average guy out there, right? They're not crazy tall, they're not crazy. Drew Brees is a good athlete, Russell Wilson is a good athlete, but they're not, over the top athletic. They just have good, clean, they're performing games. They have good, clean mechanics. They're very efficient. And so I know there's a lot of guys out there that want to be able to better replicate what these guys do. And I think by being able to do these breakdowns, you could really connect and see what it is that makes these guys really NFL quarterbacks and top performing NFL quarterbacks at that. So we'll go ahead and hop right into it from there. So seeing Russell Wilson here, one of the things that's unique to him specifically is, and maybe not unique to him, but is a unique thing compared to a lot of the top quarterbacks, is that he's very, very stiff on that front leg, and he's very dominant in moving his trunk. So notice as he's coming through, he goes and he drops that ball pretty low. He has a really long release, and it's interesting. I was talking to one of our pitchers that we work with, and he was telling me he plays professionally, and I was asking him, another not very tall guy, but I was talking to him about how as a pitcher, what do you think makes it so, even though you're not as tall, you're able to still create a lot of velocity? And he said, well, really 2 things I think is that even though I'm not very tall, I'm able to create a pretty long stride, right? And then the other thing is that I also have a pretty long release, so I go through a pretty big range of motion. So watching really Drew Brees too. Drew Brees kind of drops the ball as well. And watching Russell Wilson, he kind of drops that ball a little bit as he starts. He brings that ball pretty low, but then as he comes up, he really puts a lot of emphasis into bending with that trunk, getting a lot of movement going with the trunk. He doesn't do as much as we see a lot where they push off that back leg really hard and really get a lot of rotation within their hips. He's much more on the side of just being very stable. He has a pretty long stride overall, very strong, very straight leg here. But as he's coming forward, he's also getting a lot of bend there in the spine, and he's also creating a lot of pullback with that front arm. He really pulls back hard there. And the more I see quarterbacks, the more it's like that front arm is very, very important for you to overall succeed as a quarterback. So going here, now we'll go to the next throw. This one, he really had to drill it in. This one's a really good one because we're able to see a good angle here, and he had to create a lot of force here. So notice what he does. He goes in and he cocks, and he really opens up that shoulder good amount, and we can still see that he drops that ball at the very beginning. So he really puts a big load in there, and then from there, he falls over the side a good amount and really rotates all the way through. And you can see how he gets his whole body into that throw, rotates that back leg off the ground, and really drives through with that front leg. So notice how he really is pushing off hard with that front foot in his overall throw, and then also creating a lot of rotation, a lot of side movement as he's throwing, and he's using both of those things to generate a lot of force, which is very overall interesting to me because it's very unorthodox, I would say, from what a lot of quarterbacks do, and really a lot of the coaching that I see or hear within the quarterback community, and some of like the long stride and really the long release, and also even with me, I'm not a huge guy with having that front leg to lock out. And you can see he's able to obviously succeed by having that front leg locked out. And the reason he's able to do that is because he gets a lot of forward movement. See how much he really bends forward with that spine? So he's creating a lot of rotation with that upper body. And by doing that, he creates a lot of whip. And by letting that ball really go through a lot of range of motion, this whole time right here, he's putting a huge stretch on that pec. and really making it so that muscle has to work very hard. He has to be really, really strong in his chest and in his pecs, and then he also has to be very stable within his ankles and his hips in order for him to throw like this, because he's really leaning over the side and really has to create a lot of stability within those areas in order for his spine to be able to rotate and create as much force as it does, and him to be able to really react off of that or absorb all of that overall torque that he's creating. Here's the last one here. For this one, because we haven't done this yet, let's go through the full throw. This is a deep ball. Okay, kind of scanning the area, getting that safety to get out of the way, and then makes the decision and goes. And that's, last thing that I want to talk about here on this one is really just the effectiveness of the being able to scan through, see somebody that's open, make a decision, and get the ball out of his hand. So as soon as he makes that decision, boom, drops, gets that front foot down. Again, a little bit longer stride, but now is able to generate a lot of overall torque. And how he does that without creating a lot of force off the back leg, again, just has to do with how much movement he's able to create with the spine. Because he goes and steps out as far, then when he's coming through, look at how much he's rotating in his body, and not also from rotating to the left in his spine, but also bending forward with his spine. So as he's coming through, he's not ending up, super over to the side here. He's coming through, and his body's coming forward a lot. His spine's moving forward a lot as he's transitioning through. So look at how much his body really comes from here all the way forward, all the way through. And so he uses a good amount of his arm. He uses a good amount of his spine as he's throwing. He has a lot of, again, stability within his lower body. He's very thick in his lower body, but he doesn't create a lot of force. Like Patrick Mahomes creates a lot of force out of the lower body. Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, those guys create a lot of force out of their lower body. Russell Wilson, he's very stable in his lower body and really creates a lot of force out of his upper body. And knowing that his hand size is really big, I'd say he creates a lot out of his shoulder, elbow, and hand. And how he does that is he just kind of drops that ball. He has a little bit longer release than most, but he's still very quick in getting the ball out. It's not like you can watch him and be like oh wow, he has a really, it takes a long time to get the ball out of his hand. He's just very efficient. What we talk about with all these top quarterbacks is, he's not getting the ball back behind his head. That's really the big thing is, you don't want to lift that ball at all. Don't let that ball get back behind your head. Keep it all in front of you, not really in front of you, but right to the side of you. You don't let that ball get too far back behind your head. You got to be able to get that elbow back and get that elbow right back through, or else you're going to lose a ton of efficiency in the throw, and it's going to also mess up your timing. I think that's a big thing that we see with guys that end up having that elongated movement pattern where they lift up the ball, is you end up just throwing off the timing of how your body's shifting, and being able to sync all that up is crucial in order to maximize your overall performance as a quarterback. All right, guys. So as always, thanks for watching these videos. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and send me an email, Morey@yourperformancelab.com. That's Morey @yourperformancelab.com. Also, check out our throw program. As what I always say, man, if you're a quarterback and you're watching these videos and you're not in our throw program, I would highly, highly, highly recommend getting in it, just so you can really understand within your own personal mechanics what are things you can work on. I think watching these videos are great, and I really hope that people can take information and utilize it within their throw. But to truly get a personalized opinion on what you're biomechanically doing well and not well, I think will work wonders in your ability to really maximize your performance as a quarterback. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to maximize your overall performance, and I only think that we can help you in doing that by doing a breakdown for you and really getting you part of our program again, so we can get your drills and things like that to help you overall perform. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, as always, we'll talk to you soon. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it, and if you did, you can subscribe down below, and that way you can get updates on any of the new videos that we get. Also, if you want to, you can check out some of our other breakdowns for speed and throwing. We have exercises, also jumping mechanics videos, a lot of great stuff within our channel. Hope you enjoy.